You know why you're here, so let's dive right in. Starting with the battle deviants, we have the Butterfly's Emissary. This deviant collected during the tutorial can also be found in other areas of the map, but I haven't seen it in the beginner area of Dayton Wetlands, although it is an honorable mention to the start of this video. Despite being a beginner's deviant, it remains super useful late in game, and you can choose between designated target or auto attack. Next up is the Festering Gel. This Defender deviant can be acquired by defeating the first boss, Ravenous Hunter. Activate the Rift Anchors in Dayton Wetlands and follow Mary's mission, which can be acquired at Deadsville. Head to the Monolith of Greed to start the fight. That's the big triangular building with the red light coming out of it. Sorry, I forgot to show the map for this one.
Help! Help me! Shouldn't have tried to take what was yours.
This boss is actually very easy to defeat solo or with friends, just don't run out of ammo. After you win, secure the Festering Gel deviant, which will be floating nearby. You can choose from Flawless Fortification, which allows you to pinpoint where the barricade goes, or Build Fortification, which will cause the Festering Gel to spawn right in front of you. Not only does it provide a barricade, but it also helps with faster sanity and health regen. Here is the Mini Feaster. This is an attacker deviant and it can be obtained through world events. These will look like red lights shooting up into the sky, surrounded by heavy mist. Although you won't be able to see it on the map, they're very hard to miss once you get close to one. World events can be somewhat easy to complete solo, but just in case, you should set up camp nearby before starting. Complete to unlock the crate, and inside, you will find the Mini Feaster. Once again, you get two options, Designated Target or Touch of the Abyss, which will summon tentacles to aid you. Set this little guy loose and watch him wreak havoc during your battles. Moving on to the Voodoo Doll. The Voodoo Deviant is a defender, reflecting damage taken by the player. This deviant can be found in multiple places in the world, but in Dayton Wetlands, you can secure it at Coastside Plaza. While in your map, pan over northeast of Deadsville. The town will be located right by the coast. In the middle of town, you will find the central hospital. In the main level, to the left, the Voodoo Doll will be floating near the back door. If it's not there, change worlds at the teleportation tower, and try again. Don't be discouraged, it took me 8 tries to find it here. Your options with this deviant is Designated Target or Combat Assist, which will absorb damage taken by the player during battle. Next, we have the Gadget Deviants. I have found 2 of them in Dayton Wetlands. First up is the Disco Ball. This is a crafting deviant and it can be found inside the Wandering House. This house moves and it settles in 3 different locations around the map. One of them happens to be in Dayton Wetlands. You can find this house on your own or pick up the quest from Jeremiah at the Tallgrass Inn. Open your map and just northish of Deadsville here is one of the locations the house likes to rest. Go inside and shoot the arms coming up from the ground. This will cause the house to stand up and walk away. Keep shooting the arms until 3 little balls of light come out of it and float into random objects in the home. These are referred to as mind shards, and you must destroy all 3 to complete the quest. Once finished, a chest will appear on top of the arms and inside you'll find the Disco Ball. This Gadget Deviant produces a material called Inspiration Fragment that can be used to craft the consumable Utter Delight. This helps extend other whims by 35%. Next is the Space Turner. This little crafting deviant is super useful if you play with friends, as it can teleport them to your location simultaneously without the need for energy links or teleportation towers. Just northeast of Deadsville, across the Monolith of Greed is Throughville. On the outskirts of the settlement, you will see an assembly of strange doorways. Complete the puzzle for a chance to catch this slippery deviant. If it isn't there, remember, switch worlds, rinse, repeat, you will eventually find it. The Space Turner will produce Spatial Keystone, which you can use to craft the Space Twister. I always keep some with me in case I ever need emergency assistance from my team. Shifting gears to our territory deviants, first up is the paper doll. This deviant can easily be found with just enough looting around the map. However, there are two for sure ways to acquire them in Dayton Wetlands. The first way is to pick up the quest given to you by Low at Deadsville. This will lead you to a farm just northwest from the camp. In the main farmhouse on the second floor, you will find this little janitor just sweeping away. Be nice to him, wave hello, drop some food and water, and he will eventually allow you to secure him. Another way to acquire the paper doll is by heading to the arena at Overlook Town, which is located just east of Deadsville, right by the coastline. Go to the center stage and acquire the deviant, but be careful, lots of enemies will be nearby. The paper doll collects random junks from around the territory that you can later dismantle. It will also help repair walls, floors, and even stardust filters. And during purification events, it increases the amount of drops you'll get from the invading deviants. Here is one of my favorites, the Digby Boy. He will collect various types of ores for you, and like the paper doll, eventually you'll just get this little guy by mining enough copper, mainly silver, around the map. However, one for sure way to get him is by going to speak to Low again at Deadsville. He will give you a quest that will take you back to Thruwville, where we found our space turner. Make sure to bring some copper ore with you when you go, because Digby Boy will be hungry. When you get there, go up the gray building, and on the rooftop, the deviant will be waiting. Approach, interact, and he will ask you for 30 ores. Once you feed him, he'll become capturable. He'll periodically bring home various different ores, and if you have a mining operation platform, he'll even bring back rare and high-tier material. Next up, the Extradimensional Cat. This fluffy deviant will prance around your territory and help you recover health. You can find it in almost all safe zone camps. So, let's head over to Deadsville. And either on the second floor, rooftop, or just behind the central red house, you will see the kitty floating around. Once again, if it's not there, switch worlds, try again, rinse, repeat, you know the drill. This deviant will provide the player with a cat snooze buff, regaining health and sanity at a much quicker speed. Just lay in bed and give him some cuddles. One of the most useful deviants is the logging beaver. This beaver will make it so you'll never need or want to harvest wood again. It honestly gathers so much that I had to make an extra storage crate just to store the wood. This beaver is found all over the map, especially near docks, but in Dayton Wetlands it can be found just east of Deadsville by a river. Follow it until you get to this bridge and the beaver will be right there. Not only will it gather logs, but it occasionally brings in new furniture for your home. Now onto the Buzzy Bee. The Buzzy Bee is a charming addition to your territory. Not only does it look adorable fluttering around your garden, but it also boosts your crops over time. And you can find the Buzzy Bee in two places near Deadsville. First, head east to the Sutherland Family Orchard, where you'll spot it near some hay in the middle of the grape maze. Second, go west to Citrus County, where it hovers above the pumpkin patch. Remember to switch worlds if necessary. It definitely was for me. This little bee will fly over your crops, helping increase the chances of them mutating. Our next deviant is the electric eel. This aquatic deviant is useful to those who utilize a lot of power in their territory. He can be acquired through fishing, and this is pretty much done in any body of water around the map. So, pull out your fishing pole and just go fish. Eventually, you will catch the electric eel. This deviant increases the power outputs of the generators inside your territory. Next in line is the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny. This gathering deviant will be secured by chopping down massive trees, and you'll find them scattered throughout the map. The specific one we're using is located northeast of Deadsville, right near Coastside Plaza. These giant trees will stick out above all others, so it won't be hard to locate, especially if you get up high ground. Chop down the tree for a chance to obtain the Fetch-A-Lot Bunny. If you don't get it, come back in a minute or two, it will respawn. This bunny will harvest different shrubs, bring in lots of flowers, berries, and even seeds. Moving along to the lethal rabbit, this little badass is a cold-blooded killer, and it can be found in the psilocybe, but the best way to acquire it in Dayton Wetlands is simply by killing and skinning rabbits. I have the best luck with finding rabbits along the coastline since there's no tall grass or shrubs for them to hide behind. After a successful murder spree, you'll eventually get the lethal rabbit. This deviant will hunt down and skin different types of animals. This is especially useful when taming since you may be required to utilize different types of meat. Last but not least, the Growshroom. This deviant is a farmer and he will aid you in harvesting and planting your crops. You can acquire him by harvesting mushrooms anywhere around the map. For this, I went over to the Sutherland Family Orchard, where we acquired our Buzzy Bee. Since it can take harvesting several mushrooms before the Growshroom is dropped, I'd rather be in an area where there is plenty for the picking. This deviant will plant any seed you give it and it harvests all your crops for you. If you're someone like myself that enjoys seeing your crops or using them for decoration versus harvesting purposes, then this one might not be for you. That's all everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.